The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
TV party tonight! What? TV party tonight!
Oh, we got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews.
Don't want to talk about anything else.
We don't want to know.
We're dedicated
To our favorite shows.
Oh, my tickets!
Everybody loves Hypno Toad.
Scary dog!
Pearson and Blurnsball.
Futurama!
Hello, good evening, and welcome to TV Party Tonight, or I guess in this case it's more web series party tonight for tonight's show, because we are, well, gentlemen, you ready for a little day trip into the dens of hell?
Can't wait.
Am I? Do we get to wear disguises? I want to be an imp. I want to be an imp.
Oh, I want to be a hellhound.
We should all just go as cats.
Perfect.
That works.
Perfect.
I know that's a callback to season 1, but let's face it, we all know cats all come straight from hell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't get to go to heaven either, apparently.
Well, if they come straight from hell, wouldn't it make sense they go back to hell?
Yeah, certainly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking Helluva Boss Season 2, Part 1, because there's apparently 5 more episodes that are coming out in 2024, and we all said, you know what? We want to talk about it. We don't want to wait. We're impatient as hell. No pun intended. Joining me, Mr. David Wright. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back. This is going to be a hell of a time. That was intentional.
Oh, I'm
good
sure
one.
it was.
That was a good one.
And you previously heard us discussing Helluva Boss Season 1, Part 1 and Part 2, although that was audio only. This is our first time doing video. Mr. Jesse Starcher.
Good to be back here talking Helluva Boss, and this is going to be an interesting discussion here. This first half of the second season, we get treated to a lot this season, in my opinion. So it's going to be fun.
Very much so. Now, Jesse, you, like I said, you and I discussed Season 1, and we divided up Part 1 and 2, and we started this off originally because you lost a bet with me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Kansas City Cleveland Browns game, if I remember correctly, or was it the Super Bowl bet where it was Cincinnati Bengals?
I think it was like AFC or NFC championship.
Might have been the AFC championship then. Yeah, that was the Bengals and KFC, believe it or not. They have.
I live in Missouri, not Kentucky.
Oh my goodness, Kansas City. Yes.
Yeah. So yes, we had a little bet going, and Chiefs won. So Jesse said I got to pick a review, and we discussed whatever we wanted, and I said, "Ooh, I want to talk VivziePop."
Yes,
because I love VivziePop, and we ended up having a blast and talking about it. And then we came back later to review the second half, because when we did it, only the pilot and the first 3 episodes were out, and we had so much fun, and we had a lot of people tune in.
Yeah,
so we were just like, we want to do this again.
For sure.
Okay, so yes, Helluva Boss is a web series from creator Vivienne Medrano, otherwise known as, VivziePop, follows the employees of I.M.P, the Immediate Murder Professionals, an imp-run assassination company in hell, on their different jobs. We get tangled up with their lives, especially the drama going on with their boss, Blitz, the O is silent, and his relationship with the Ars Goetia prince Stolas. And then we get tangled up into Stolas's personal life, and you're going to learn just about like every denizen of hell at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right. So, Jesse, yes, we just established how I got you into Helluva Boss. David, you messaged me asking if we were going to discuss Has Been Hotel, which has been greenlit for Amazon Prime coming out in January. But how did you get into VivziePop's work?
The short answer is from the Helluva Boss podcast. I just started
Really?
watching.
Yay!
Yeah, it works. Yay.
Look
Woohoo!
out.
Spreading the word. People listen to us.
Yeah, I had previously seen the Has Been Hotel thumbnails on YouTube, but I never clicked on them. It's just like, oh, this must be some sort of like, animated thing on YouTube. And I had no idea that it was taking place in hell at the time from the thumbnail. But it was only after I watched Helluva Boss, and it's like, oh, let's see what this other thing is. And like, I had no idea that it was just a pilot, that they were fishing around. Yeah, like I went in pretty much completely cold, and then had Inside Every Demon is a Rainbow stuck in my head for the next 6 months, which I'm not complaining.
No.
Oh no, the music in these series are really good.
Right.
Which is why I'm so excited that Has Been Hotel has been stocked with Broadway actors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're gonna have a fun time.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start talking about season 2, and let's just go ahead and dive in with the first episode, which is the circus, which we get a lot. This season has a lot of info dropped. Really learn a lot. This one's starting with learning about how Stolas and Blitz, or when he was known as a child, Blitzo, first met when they were little kids, when Blitz was working for the circus, and Stolas had just found out that his father, who was the voice of Jafar from Aladdin, Jonathan Freeman, he gives Stolas his grimoire and says, oh, and by the way, you're also engaged to Stella, and shows a picture of her strangling puppy dog things. You see those repeatedly in the series, but I have no idea what the hell they are. And he's upset, and his dad says, well, okay, will you stop crying if I take you to the circus? And he does. So what did you guys think about just kind of jumping in like that and learning so much about the backstory in the start of that second season? I mean, they really just was like, okay, and we're off.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and go first here. Right. We're starting out and getting a history of Blitz and you're going to see a recurring theme of daddy issues throughout a lot of these episodes. And right here in the first episode, you get kind of treated to Blitz's father and the horrible way that he treats him. And that's commonplace, I guess, for hell. But regardless, you get to learn how the relationship kind of got started, which I thought was pretty interesting. I couldn't remember or didn't recall them ever saying that they knew each other as children. That
Never
wasn't
did.
okay. No. All right. So that sheds a little bit of light and some information there on how they became who they were. And it was fun. It was a fun episode to get into and start just kind of get an idea of where these two characters come from and the history they have between them. Trying to think of some of my favorite moments. The circus part of it. I mean, David, I'll go ahead and let you go here, man, because okay. I'm going to get into my notes here, but go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched this one, so I was just digging through my mind to remember what I could of it. They did a lot more backstory for the characters in this season. I kind of like how over the show, like they give you little bits and pieces over the course of the show, so they're sort of gradually filling in the gaps. Mm-hmm. But they don't. So this is sort of their first like real big, lore bomb of this is what happened between Blitz and Stolas when they were kids, and so on. And I don't remember much of Blitz's dad other than kind of like a trailer trashy exploitative father,
right?
Sell his own kid for a penny.
But I think it was a wadded up 5 and a slim fit condom.
Yes, a slim
like
fit
that,
condom. Stolas' dad was not any better either.
I found his dad to be more interesting because he was just more not as much abusive, just as absentee.
Right.
Like Stolas comes in and he's all excited. I get to see my dad, and he's like, "Which one are you?" And he he has his assistant going like, "Oh, it's Stolas, and he's the Dark Lord of this and that, and okay, here's your book, and here's your here's your arranged marriage." Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, "Oh, would you just shut up? Just go to the circus there. Yes, this make you happy. Here, I'll buy you a kid. Just go play. Like, just leave me alone. I don't care."
Yeah,
sort of thing. And that I found to be even more heartbreaking. Even probably, but just
it's
okay. Just what's his dad? He's a piece of shit. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
but he's kind of there at least. And then when it sort of time skips back to the present, where you get Stolas, well, not quite the present, where you see the inciting incident of him and Blitz hooking up for the first time, and him just basically throwing it in his wife's face, which was glorious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
The voice actress for Stella really does a great job of conveying just, you do not feel any sympathy for her whatsoever.
Oh, no,
She
by that
is
time,
horrible.
Like, when, like, what is it? They're at like a party or something, and I think
Yeah,
she just loves to throw parties, and she is just like loudly talking to everyone, just like how much of a deadbeat husband she thinks he is. And
Oh, it's
how
bad.
how
he is
bad
in
he is
bed.
in bed. Yeah.
And just like yeah, by the point where he just like Blitz falls onto the table, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just banging your husband," and he just runs off. He's like, "What the? What's that?" He's like, "That was the sound of a fucking divorce."
I felt so cathartic.
It was good. It was almost as cathartic as the line in episode 7, which I don't know if we're going to get that far.
Oh, the song? Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get to
the
that.
song.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it was like, "Oh, you two really are together. Well, congratulations, you fucking hypocrites."
Yes.
More on this later.
I think my favorite part about the circus was, ironically, the kids. The young, it's very hard to get young children as good voice actors. They don't have as much experience, and voice acting, everyone thinks will be the easy way out, but it's not. You really have to convey so much. But you have the scene of Blitzo and Fizz playing with little balloon horses. And it's so cute. But it's like, I am Wormhorse, and I'm sad because I have no legs. I lost my legs in the war. It's like, I just want to listen to these kids. I just want to sit down and listen to these kids play with these cute little balloon horses, and I would be content. They are so adorable, and they give so much character into their performances.
Yeah, I even like how earlier on, like I think you had the one where they go to the lust ring, and Fizz is just like totally ripping Blitz a new one. This is where we get into the you hypocrites thing. But then you just sort of see, like, just in the corner of like a scene after that, like just a picture of Blitz and Fizz as kids, and you're like, oh, they actually know each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it really does make you want to know and continue going, because you want to know what happened with you two. How did you go from clearly best friends as children to hating the side of each other?
Yeah. And it does fill that out later on. Like the last 2 episodes gave us just a bomb of just backstory of those two.
Absolutely.
Which was a bit of an exception, where I kind of just like how it was more like, here's the funny mission that they're doing this episode, and then, oh yeah, here's a little bit of character stuff and background information kind of drizzled in there for flavor. But
yeah, I think as far as what sticks out for me in this episode is definitely how broken these characters are, and what caused them to be broken a little bit, or giving you that little bit of mystery as to, like, just like you said, what happened. Did they like ratchet up Stolas's ex-wife, I guess now? Did they ratchet her attitude and stuff up, or was she like that? I don't remember her being that over the top.
A little bit.
Yeah, she was a bit over the top, but that was before we knew how much of a bitch she was before he slept with Blitz. Like, before you kind of you feel a bit of sympathy for her, like,
right?
Why the hell is this happening to me? Like, whereas this is like, oh no, she totally asked for it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, don't forget season 1, we found out that she put a hit out on her husband.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right. Yep. My goodness.
Yeah, no, she hates Stolas with every fiber of her being.
Yeah, and then, like, okay, arranged marriages, I get it, but like the bit where like she was at the party just calling him out, like, that was just like, no, like, you keep that inside. You put on a good face for the other nobles, and you just do what you got to do, sleep with who you're going to sleep with or whatever behind the scenes. That's usually how these things work. Is you keep the reality of how horrible the marriage is on the DL, whilst putting on a good face for society. Whereas and I think once she broke that rule, then it's like, no, like she deserves what's coming.
Definitely. And like I said, the voice actress just nails it. That laugh, that oh my god, I can't even imitate that laugh. It kills my throat and my lungs. Just, I don't know how she does that. Yeah.
Yeah, just joking. Voice actors don't make that much money, which is a shame.
Very true. So the next episode is Seeing Stars, and this one was actually kind of interesting because the fan reaction to it was, how to put it, it's like everyone was like, well, it's not like anything from the show is bad, but I think everyone agreed this was probably like the weakest episode. And I don't know if you guys feel the same. So this starts, we have the return of Octavia, Stolas' daughter. Apparently Stolas had promised her to take her to see this once in a lifetime meteor shower. But unfortunately, it coincides with Stolas and Stella getting the divorce, and Stolas is having trouble dealing with it. So Octavia decides to steal the grimoire and run away. She basically just opens it up and says, "Take me to see stars." And the grimoire says, "Okay, well, you're not being specific enough, and there's a lot of gray area there." So it dumps her in frickin' Los Angeles.
It's always Los Angeles or New York.
Well, I love that she opens her eyes and the first thing she sees is a star on the Walk of Fame. It's like, well, you said see stars. There's a star.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, I.M.P and Stolas follow her and they get into their own shenanigans because Blitz dons a human disguise and gets mistaken for an actor named Brandon Rogers. I love that's obviously a play at the voice actor for Blitz, Brandon Rogers.
Okay.
And Moxie and Millie get caught up because there's so many artisans there to sell their art, and Moxie just can't say no.
No, he cannot. He is. It starts with the guy with the CD, and then at the end of the episode, he's dragging a bag full of art just to go back with him. That apparently he had ran into every single street peddler out there.
He's just way too kind-hearted to be a demon.
Right.
No, I have either of you spent amount of time out in LA?
Not the Hollywood area. I've been like Anaheim once. That's all I've done for LA.
The running joke is I haven't been further west than Indiana, and that was by accident. So
you need to travel more, mister.
I hear you.
So I actually interned in LA.
Oh, wow.
I actually worked for an animation company. I'm not joking. It was called Acme Filmworks, and it was on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, that's great.
And I stayed in a hostel that was behind Grauman's Chinese Theater. So I had to walk past Grauman's Chinese Theater to work every day. Had to get through the throngs of tourists, all the people in costume. The guy dressed as Zorro hit on me every single day.
Couldn't take the hint.
Well, I think it was, maybe it was more like, it's like, hey, if you're, if I hit on you enough, will you finally start giving me some money for my performance? Because that's what they're out there for. They're there to get tips for photos. And I'm just going to say, I hated it. I hated Hollywood. I hated LA. I hated every bit of it, and so much of that actually is reflected in the episode. I'm really not joking.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I can't say whether or not their water is like 90% acid.
I would hope not.
I would hope not too, but yeah, the crowds and the street performers yelling in the way, and just, oh god, yeah, not going back there anytime soon.
That's not. I mean, I've probably been on record for saying the big city life is not for me, but that it takes a different kind of person to try and make a living out there and actually be successful. Number one, and actually enjoy that. I know plenty of people that do, but yeah, it's a tough environment. You either like it or you hate it sometimes. So, but yeah, so we're in LA in this episode. Is this the only time they get to Earth? I can't remember. Is there any other episodes?
The camp episode. That's
camp
right.
Episode.
Yeah, they go. Yeah.
It's always fun to watch the imps and the rest of them get over to Earth and see what kind of shenanigans they get.
That is kind of the premise of the show.
Supposed to be.
That is an interesting point, is that in the first season we had a few more where they got jobs and were sent and they went to Earth to take care of
the job of the week sort of thing.
Yeah, this one we only have one, and that is not until episode 5. This is, and yeah, Seeing Stars is the only other time the I.M.P go to Earth, and so far in this season, and it's not for work; it's to get back Octavia.
Right. You mentioned how. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, so that'd be my biggest critique of the season so far. Is I kind of wish they'd get back to a bit more of, the mission of the week sort of.
Here, right.
Yeah, especially after the last 2 episodes, which are all very lore character stuff, which were great episodes. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, okay, let's get back to I.M.P. Getting hired to kill people in the living world type stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You need kind of like a balance between the two.
And from what I've seen, you're not alone. A lot of people, from what I hear, feel the same way. They kind of want it to go back. Then I started to wonder about, like, there's a lot that changed here. We went from how many, what would you say the average episode length was in the previous season? Like, it couldn't have been no more than 15, right?
Yeah, like 15-ish, maybe 20 tops kind of thing.
Now hang on. I'll pull up a playlist on YouTube and see what I can find.
But yeah, we're definitely closer to 30 for most of this season, especially now.
I mean, it says a lot of work for Vivzie and VivziePop and what they're putting into this, which is great. I want to see that. But I imagine you also have to try to take into consideration that, okay, what is the story we're going to tell, and can we keep it up for 30 minutes in the episode?
The first episode was only like about almost 14 minutes. Second episode was 16. Third was 17. Then 15. Then 18. Then Truth Seekers was 22. And the circus was 23. This one was 21. Next one is 25. So it does go up.
They're increasing the time frame as we go, which, when you think about it, I mean, 5-10 minutes, that probably isn't that much, but it seems like they've taken a lot more on their shoulders, and there's absolutely more of a consistent, I guess, narrative than what we were used to in season 1, where they were just kind of going week by week to go take care of things on the Earth realm or something like that. But you mentioned this one as being thought of as the weakest episode. And what's funny is that I thought the whole relationship between Stolas and his daughter Octavia was one of the big draws to me for one of the in the previous season, because they had a great episode. I think it was in the first shows that we were talking about.
Lululand.
Yes, that's one of our favorites.
Right,
that was a good episode.
I mean, I can see that kind of. I thought that was a strong point that they were going to go with here, and it resonated with me. I like to see the struggling relationship that they have, and again, that's on showcase here. So again, it's daddy issues. Stolas is the daddy now, and Octavia has to deal with the fact that he is so involved with the relationship, the failing relationship, or if you want to even consider it a relationship, that he had with his soon-to-be or his ex-wife. And that's, as far as wasn't a big focus on the episode. There were like two, just like you said, Millie and Moxie were running around. So it was kind of like the third plot of what we had going on here. But what I was going to say was that it's still something it's still a commentary on, children having to deal with that kind of a situation at home. And that resonated with me. So go ahead.
I mean, we see Stolas he's portrayed as a good father. Like at the beginning, I think it was in Lululand, where like Octavia is having a nightmare, and he goes in to comfort her. It seems like he very much loves his daughter.
Absolutely.
It's just, she's a teenager, so when you're a teenager, dad sucks no matter what. That's just the reality of life. And then now, her parents are going through this divorce, which is affecting her, and it's a pretty nasty divorce. I mean, again, still is called out a hitman on Stolas. That's pretty up there.
I mean, there's a scene where Octavia is talking to Luna, and she says a line, and I'm not gonna. Now, my parents are not divorced, but I heard that line, and I could feel like just how many children out there, how many people watch their parents go through nasty divorces, and how that line would hit them. She says, "Why does he hate her more than he loves me?"
Right, right.
And I was just like, "Oh my God, there's got to be
Yeah.
Thousands of people who heard that line and just like right to the heart. They know that feeling.
Yeah.
That does,
Yeah,
however, bring up what I think is one of the biggest complaints about this, and that's Blitz and Luna's part in this.
Oh,
Because we get a little backstory with Blitz we see Blitz kind of go through a little mini flashback where he remembers adopting Luna. She was apparently almost aged out of the Hellhound program, and she was being rejected constantly, and he felt so sorry for her. And then he freaks out upon returning to reality and torches a studio audience, because of course you do. But what a lot of people hated actually was the end with Luna, because she gives this great speech to Octavia about how it's not easy. She's like, look, he's trying, and you have to remember that that's what counts. What he's going through isn't easy, and dads fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
But they keep trying.
I heard this saying, it's something like, when you're a child, you think your parents are perfect. When you're a teenager, you realize that they're not, and you become an adult when you forgive them. Something like that.
Yeah, and you think that Luna's she's talking about this, and she's looking at her I.M.P lighter, and you think she's kind of realizing this about her own dad, but then when they go to see their dads together, and Blitz goes to hug her, she knees him in the crotch.
Yeah,
kicks him in the junk.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were just kind of put off. It's like, wait,
right.
we thought you had a revelation there, Luna.
Yeah. Well, she's kind of got that edgy badass teen thing to go on. Like, did they release the season finale by this point for the first season?
Oh my God, that's right.
That had a lot of Luna Blitz relationship stuff.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about season 1, episode 8? Because that was supposed to get released.
Here's the thing. I want to hear you guys talk about it, because I watched all of season 2, and then I realized after I was done today that there was a season 1, episode 8 that was put on this playlist like 4 months ago. And I'm like, wait a second, how did I miss this? So yeah, I'd love to hear what happened and what you guys thought.
As near as I can tell, it was recording rights were the problem. But let's not
I
get
remember
into
that being a discussion. I think that came up at one point. Okay.
Yeah, long story short, they sorted it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we sorted it out so we could get Kesha doing voice acting. And I'm sorry, if you love Kesha as an artist, more power to you. She's not really my thing. A little too auto-tuned for me. She's not a voice actress.
I haven't heard her name in a very long time. I know who she is, but my goodness. It's been a while. Not a voice actress, huh?
No. What did you think of her? Because she's literally Beelzebub, Queen Bee. We've seen Osmodeus, who is the personification of lust. Queen Bee is the personification of gluttony.
Okay.
Yeah, like the performance doesn't really stand out as being uniquely bad in my mind. Like, I wouldn't say like, wow, look at the acting, but it wasn't horrible. It was better than Lizzo in The Mandalorian, where it was just like, oh wow, this is, she's a talented singer, and as an actor, she's a talented singer.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. But I thought the character was okay. I mean, the song was pretty good, as most songs are in VivziePop things. I thought the animation for the character, even though I didn't quite look like the aesthetic, I just, on a technical note, just like the translucence and the bits moving around in between the character. You could say the same for Ozymandias. Is it Ozymandias?
Osmodeus.
Yeah. Osmodeus. I was close. Yeah. Osmodeus. Like, just,
there was an extra vowel in there somewhere.
Where he's got like the head with the flame on it, and he's got like the 3 faces, and just like I don't know much technically about animation, but I'm just like, this is probably like some pretty out there stuff, like technically wise, to do this. This is where the experts tell me, it's like, oh, actually, it's super easy. But anyway, to me, it was like, wow, that's impressive. Like the flowing hair and the bubbles, and back to Queen Bee again. Like, it was.
I do give credit for such a unique design, because when you think the personification of gluttony, you do not think what we got with Queen Bee, who essentially it looks like half bee, half hellhound.
Yeah.
With
also made out of honey in places, I think.
Yeah, they really went with the whole bee aesthetic, but that again, it's not really what you think. You usually think of just a glutton, a giant blob, someone who just can't stop eating. And it's like that was a very different take on the design. I did like that. I like that they're, kind of subverting expectations with how we see the demons.
Yeah, which is oddly nice and helpful too. Like these are some of the nicest demons you come across.
Yeah, and I love it. Her main thing is she just wants to host parties, and I love she's just like, okay, more food, more alcohol, go get drunk, go eat to your heart's content, which again, that does fit with gluttony. But
yeah, I like how it's like in the story, it's Luna gets invited to this party by the other hellhound that she had a crush on, but then
Vortex,
but then of course, he has a girlfriend and it turns out it's Beelzebub. So and she's just, she's like the awkward girl at the party, like, all the all the popular girls are just making fun of her, and she's just like, I just want to go home, and she calls Blitz, and he just drops everything. I think he's still dressed for his date with Stolas.
Yeah, this takes place the same night as Ozzy's.
Yeah, I was expecting them to deal a lot more with that date in this episode than to have like a completely different plot with Luna, but
Okay.
yeah, he's like, let's go home. But then he gets tempted into the party and he just goes hard. Yeah, like drinks everyone under the table. And and there's that great bit at the end where Beelzebub's talking to Luna. It's like, look, like this is a lot of fun, but I've seen people, in this situation, and like he is drinking away a lot of trauma. Like this, he's got some issues to deal with, and you need to take care of him.
Yeah, it's very different because you would expect the personification of gluttony to not care, but she openly says, like, this is not what I want people to party for. Apparently gluttony does not want you to be a glutton if it means you're hiding away your trauma, which I don't know if that's, I have no idea how that would actually.
What's the word where you like eat because you're getting through problems or something? There's an expression for
stress eating.
Maybe it's stress eating or something like. Yeah, she's just you want to party because you want to party, I think is her whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the line. Your dad has like 5 tongues in him at once. I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luna gets him out of there and takes. It's also the first time she calls him dad. Yeah, that was cute.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she takes him back to their apartment, and Blitz ends the night by puking on the couch.
Yeah, and asking her like, will you always love me or be with me or something like that.
That's sad, man. He is such a sad character, and he's got this huge,
but also funny.
Oh yeah, hilarious, no doubt. But
like one thing. Yeah, like I like is like I've noticed a lot in modern writing, let's call it. They like to talk about trauma a lot, trauma and empathy, and drugs. Apparently, those seems to be the 3 big things that young writers in LA focus on. But it just seems to be very shallow in a lot of the things. I see it as like, oh, everybody does things because of trauma, and trauma is overcome through empathy, and like, oh yeah, if it were only that simple. But I like how this show where, like these are a lot of broken characters. Like I think almost all, maybe not Millie. I think Millie, she seemed to be, loving parents, good upbringing. She loves killing and she kills for her job.
Yeah.
Like she's doing good, but everyone else pretty much, everyone has like some shit to deal with. But I like how it kind of depicts it more in a organic way. That's, there's some depth here that it's sort of the show's exploring bit by bit, and I appreciate that
for sure.
And I think that actually segues nicely into the 3rd episode of season 2, X's and O's, which is one of my favorite episodes so far, in which we get to go back to the greed ring, and we are introduced to Moxie's dad. And guess what, folks? Moxie comes from a mafia family. Yep. His father is a mob boss.
Played exactly as you would imagine it.
Yeah, a mafia in hell.
Yeah,
just something else.
Yeah, again, I didn't realize that Lululand, when we saw it in season 2, was in the greed ring. I actually thought at first that may have been the gluttony ring, and no, apparently the gluttony ring is orange, the greed ring is green.
Yeah, because I love how you just know there is a book somewhere which explains all of how this works.
Oh yeah, man. it's so funny because as we go forward in this season, you mentioned the word lore bomb. That really is like kind of what had me hooked when we were first doing the first episodes. It's like there's so much, like we're just getting the taste of what's going on behind the scenes here, and of course this season kind of helps elaborate on some of that. But yeah, there's got to be the Bible. What is it? The episode Bible or the series Bible is probably
a series Bible.
It's
that's a standard term. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but it does a good job of mostly drip feeding it to you. Like very, very little is there just like a big exposition dump of everything. Like I think lore bomb might not have been the best term, but it's just more like you get a lot of the backstory in those episodes.
And even when it is a huge amount of exposition dump, like in the circus episode, it's still enjoyable. I mean, we learned so much in those scenes watching young Stolas, young Fizzaroli, and young Blitz, but you want to watch them because they made them so enjoyable. At no point does it feel like, oh my God, get on with the backstory. We don't care. It never goes into that.
Right.
But yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite episodes of the season. And a lot of that I give credit to Richard Horowitz, voice of Moxley and the voice of his dad, Crimson. And it's obvious it's the same voice actor, but he plays them so differently. You really feel like it's two actors talking to one another.
Yeah, well, he has more of an accent when he's playing the dad. I think that helps differentiate the two.
Yeah, and it's a little more hoarse, a little more worn. But yeah, Crimson tricks I.M.P into coming to his estate in Greed, and he makes it out like, oh, I just need Moxie to essentially do a small ceremony to give up his holdings with us. It turns out he wants to force Moxie to marry this other thug.
Yeah, his ex-boyfriend, I think.
Yeah, he's the ex-boyfriend of both Moxie and Millie.
Yeah. Chaz.
Yeah, was not a big fan of Chaz, but it all worked out in the end.
Yes, he ended up on the wall.
Fun fact, you guys know Zachary Strobel, one of our other contributors?
Yeah.
His cousin is the voice of Chaz.
Oh, no kidding.
Good for him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he played the role very well. I wasn't a fan of the character, but yeah, the role was good. I just love the bit in that episode where his dad thinks that Moxie's gay. He's like, I'm not gay, Dad, I'm bi. And he just like pushed the button and all the toys come out of the walls and everything. It's just like, is this what you think I like? Like nobody likes this, and then you just hear Blitz in the back. Dicks are coming out of everything. This is awesome.
I wanted so bad. The first time I saw that, I just got kind of went pale face. I'm like, whoa, dicks. That's a lot of dicks. That was just all I could think.
Yeah. All blurred out.
I would kill to be a fly on the wall and see so many, just watch everyone's first reaction to that, because it was so insane.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find the specific sign that dropped, because I swear it said like "congrats, gay."
I think it did. And again, how many people do you think related to that line's like, first dad, I'm bisexual. Yeah, gay. Oh, for fuck's sake. How many people have gone through that exact line of dialogue?
Right.
Yeah, I do like how natural that sort of LGBTQ plus stuff feels in this show.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like it is, like a lot of places it feels kind of like we shoehorned it in. I'm not going to get overly into it, but I like how it feels like it makes sense. It feels natural for these characters, and it works for the show, and I like that way that it's done.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a studio exec said we need to throw this in for a demographic. Yeah. No, the characters all feel very natural in their relationships, and I do really like that. Yeah, but again, Chaz is so hilariously annoying. I love it when he's sleeping after he freaking tricks Blitz into sleeping with him.
Well, he's basically like, if you sleep with me, I'll tell you what Moxie and Millie are into. He's like, deal.
And they're lying there, and it's clear that it's just been one of the worst experiences of Blitz's life. And you can hear Chaz in his story going, oh, I got a big dick. I got a big dick.
He has that. That's on his that's his license plate was HGECCK or something like that.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's Yeah, that shows like a lack of confidence, really. Like you're making up for something. Oddly enough, it's a lot of small dick energy.
Yeah.
Very small dick energy. But I love it because so we get the scene in the end where Moxie finally stands up to his dad and says, "No, I'm not doing this." It just kind of makes me laugh because I guess it doesn't matter that he's already married in hell. It's like, doesn't matter. You can, I guess,
right.
Polygamy is a thing in hell. I don't know, but and they
Not
lock
many
everyone out.
Puritans in hell. Actually, there's probably quite a few when I think about it.
Good point. And I love Blitz is drugged out of his mind, but he's still kind of there. It's like he's drunk, and he and Millie crash the car in, and Millie just leads the biggest onslaught. This is like Truth Seekers Take 2 with the level of violence, and I loved it.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably one of my favorite fight scenes this season. Was her going nuts.
Well, I think they build up the frustration with all these characters like Chaz and was it the dad character
Crimson.
I was going to say Scarlet. I was close, but yeah,
Crimson.
And just get the whole situation of like, I am so sick and tired of this, and then you just get murder, glorious, gory, cathartic murder all over the place, and just like, this is exactly what I was waiting for.
Yeah, she freaking rips a guy's skull and spinal cord out, and then strangles another guy with it. And I love during all of this, the minister, bishop, priest, whatever is after a while, he literally drops the book and walks away with his fingers. I was like, fuck this noise, I'm out. It was a great touch.
Nobody was there for the wedding, and he pushes a button. Crimson pushes a button, and the dicks all reappear in the pews.
Yeah.
One of which, one of the shark guys is sitting there and gets one right up the ass.
Yeah, I love it. He doesn't even say anything. He's just like, yeah, it's there. It was hilarious. And then Millie grabs one of the dicks and practically uses like as a spear to fight off the other guys.
Yes. Crimson becomes a pretty big character this season. I mean, he's going to be recurring.
He'll show up again. Yeah.
Yep. He's going to be.
Yeah. I'm glad. He's a good villain. That we needed someone like him to show up because we don't see him again until episode 6. Was there anything else about this episode, or should we jump into episode 4?
I'll go right ahead.
I think we kind of covered most of it.
Yeah. I will say real quick before we jump in there, I just want to point out another theme that I kind of picked up on while watching these is there's a lot of like other people trying to make other people do things they don't want to do. And clearly on display here with Crimson and his son, Moxie does not want to do anything, but feels like he has to, obviously, because it's his dad. But man, we got this was the part where we learned about the horrible backstory where he pushed the brick that had his mom in, like took her down to
I don't think that was his mother.
Okay.
I think Crimson killed his mother earlier, and we saw the shoe because now I could be wrong, but I could have sworn we saw the horns had been cut off, but I swear we saw the thicker black and white lines, and that's usually a sign of a male.
Okay.
Imp. So I always assumed that was just
I saw the
mafia kill.
I saw the shoe.
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
Yeah, I saw the shoe, and I assumed that like Crimson made his own son push his mom into the drink and kill her, but okay,
surprised.
Well, yeah, I mean, Crimson is that diabolical.
Yeah, now I'm not saying he didn't do that on another trip, but the one we saw, I don't think was his mother.
All right, good.
Yeah, and that actually does go to, there is a reoccurring theme in the series, which again really speaks to a lot of people. And you're not wrong. It's not just escaping, or it's not just people trying to get others to do what they want them to do. It's escaping abuse.
Yes.
We see that a lot. And it is multiple kinds of abuse. We have Moxie, who has an abusive father. We see Stolas, who has an abusive wife. We later on have Fizz with an abusive boss, Mammon. And I really like that VivziePop is essentially kind of helping give a voice to those who are stuck in this. There are so many people who are stuck in, romantic abusive or, abusive relationships with spouses, with parents, in work. You can get locked into those situations so easily. And I really love how her characters are finding ways to get out of that. And I'd like to think that that's helping people find the strength to get out of that kind of stuff themselves.
Right. It's
Yeah, I hope
usually
so.
it's with a friend or a family member that helps them through this. Cause I mean, most of what you see is these people they're kind of subject to what's going on. And then finally somebody that they can lean on says, what are you doing? And it kind of wakes them up and they get the courage to do what they need to do and tell the person to go screw off. But yeah, we can go on the next episode.
All right. Next episode is Western Energy with the return of Stryker, not the return of Norman Reedus. Apparently, they had scheduling conflicts, couldn't get him back for this season.
Yeah, but he does have a theme song now, which he hates.
How does one get their own theme song? I love that just casual question.
I mean, I don't know how long that theme song went on before Stryker was like, "Can you guys just leave me alone, please?" And I was like,
"Oh, do my job. Shut up.
This is in world. Okay, all right, I see."
And a bit later on, where Moxie and Millie find the same band and they lead them to his hideout.
Yeah, I was like, "Have you seen this guy? He's Stryker. No song, no singing. Just tell me where he is."
Yeah.
So, fun little fact about this episode is the introduction to another character, Andrealphus, Stella's brother, who in the Ars Goetia is a very higher up demon. Long before season 2 dropped, VivziePop put out on, I think it was her Twitter feed, a picture of Andrealphus and said, coming in season 2, Stolas's even more unpleasant brother-in-law, Andrealphus. And the fans went crazy for this guy. There was so much fan art of him before we even knew what he sounded like. Before we ever saw the pencil tests of him, and it was just kind of fascinating to finally see him on camera. Because again, the fans just built him up so much.
That's interesting. But he was, at the time when she threw him out there, she said it was going to be Stella's brother or Stolas's brother?
Stolas's brother-in-law. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's definitely a factor in this episode. That's for sure. He's helping Stella with the divorce, I guess, right? He's a lawyer.
Yeah. It starts with him trying to get her more of a settlement, as it were. And that gets interrupted with frickin' Stryker kidnapping Stolas and taking him away because apparently Stella hasn't called off the damn hit yet.
Yeah, well, she's still thinking of the hit. It's sort of midway through the episode. He convinces her, like, if you kill him, we get nothing in the settlement.
Yeah, the law of the Goetia is once Stolas dies, everything the legions of whoever follows him, the castle, everything, it goes to Octavia.
Okay.
So.
So, I mean, Stryker, who's voicing Stryker here?
I need to look it up. It's the same actor who did the voice of Alistair in the Has Been Hotel pilot.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm looking at the wiki here. I can run down some names, but I don't see like what they have listed here.
Yeah, let me pull up the IMDb here and see what I can find.
I was trying to think of some of the stuff that happened in this episode that I thought was pretty darn funny. Go ahead. So you going to say something?
Oh, no, I just was... Edward Bosco. That's his name. His name's Edward Bosco.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we also have... so Stolas manages to get a call to Blitz. Just like, I'm currently being kidnapped and I think you should come. It's just, I love how adorable he asks for help.
So casual.
Yeah. And, but unfortunately, Blitz has to take Luna in for her Hellbee shot. Oh, we get to see the sloth ring. That's where this hospital's in. Sloth ring is apparently pink. I love how all these rings are color-coded, I guess. But Moxie and Millie, of course, have a score to settle with him from the season 1 episode. So they say, okay, you go take Luna to get her shot and deal with everything. We'll go get Stolas. And yeah, I do love the action between them. With the fight scene with Moxie and Millie trying to take out Stryker at the end. Those two are so awesome when they fight together. This also, I noticed there was a trend going on with this. This is something that got talked about a lot on social media, and that is the lack of Erica Lindbeck, voice of Luna.
Well, and that's something that I noticed as well. It's like we get one kind of, I don't even call it a Luna-centric episode. Really, she's in it when she goes to help and talk to Octavia and help them on Earth. And then this episode, and I don't think there's no centerpiece of Luna at all.
Luna doesn't say a word.
Right.
For the after Seeing Stars and the episode 8 from season 1, Luna does not say a word for the rest of this season so far.
Yeah, you see her shrug a couple times as she's sitting behind the desk, and that's about it. So she's there, but she's not participating. Did they say like what was up with that? I mean, did they give?
Well, unfortunately, there was a lot of rumors going around. Erica Lindbeck, sadly, her boyfriend, not too long ago, passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of rumors and fan theories that she was unable to record at that time, to which VivziePop said, you guys know we record this stuff like over a year in advance, right? And basically Vivzie said, look, there's no reason why Erica's not in this. It's just, that's just the way it worked. We didn't have any, Luna does feature heavily in this episode, but she doesn't talk. It's all dog whimpers and growls.
Yeah, like it's the joke of taking your dog to the vet to get a shot, and the dog doesn't want the shot, except this time it's a hellhound.
Take your dog to the vet, nothing. I've got serious white coat phobia, okay? Watching her freak out and hide under the chair, I'm like, I'm with you, Luna. I'm with you. I hate doctors, too. I'm scared to death of them.
Yeah, but you're not 8 feet tall with fangs and claws.
It's true.
I'm assuming.
Give it a little time.
I'm assuming.
I don't know. What do you think? Think I got things?
I'm thinking relative to Hellbeast.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, we got that going on, and yeah, I do love this. Just a little bit of Bliss interacting with the people in the hotel. I love when he's sitting in the lobby and the complaining about the other one. She's like, "Well, what do you do that's so important?" I kill people. How's a 2-for-1 deal sound?
Man, does he really lay into that poor lady? My goodness.
Well, she was kind of a bitch.
I remember she was, yeah.
Man.
So, but yes, we. Another little interesting fact. I had pulled this up. These are little details that I love that Vivzie throws in. We see Andrealphus's house, which, well, it looks like he's got a place next to Elsa's Frozen Palace in Frozen. But for those who have read their Dante Alighieri, you remember that the bottom ring of hell, where Lucifer is held captive, is a frozen lake. Coctus? I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it. So I kind of got this feeling, it's like when she talked, especially because in the circus episode, Stella drops Andrealphus's name as a threat against Stolas. It's like, what do you think the rest of the Goetia will do when Andrealphus hears about this? So I just got this feeling, what if Andrealphus is really high up on the Goetia, so he's lower in hell? Maybe he's right there on that frozen lake. So again, little details like that I always like.
For sure. Trying to think of, really, the one thing that kind of stood out to me in this episode, love the fact we get another fight scene. We get that's always going to check one of the boxes for me. This is the episode where I was like, the song that's playing during this fight scene does not match up with what I'm seeing. And there were a couple times where I was kind of taken out by what was playing. And I honestly wondered, like, okay, are they just kind of, did they know these people and want to get some of their music in here? Or are they actually giving it some thought? Now, there's some other songs that get, when some of the characters are singing, it's beautiful. It fits perfectly. We'll talk about Fizzarelli's song. He had a hilarious song about just trying to say, what was it called? Look at me or something like that.
Look at this.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah,
the ultimate distraction.
It was perfect. But this one that was playing during this, it sounded like some kind of upbeat pop thing. And I'm like, man, it just didn't stick with me very well.
I think that was the joke because originally a
Mhm.
version of the song starts playing that has a very rock feel. You even see, I think you see Stryker like tapping his toes, tapping his foot to it,
Okay.
and then
Mhm.
something happens, and it's the same song, but now it's pop.
All right.
And I think that was the joke, is just like, okay, change the feel of the scene. But I do like how it's intercut with the doctor and Blitz trying to put that huge ass shot, the
syringe.
giant syringe. Just yikes.
But yeah, I think that was the only thing that stuck out to me in this episode. Really, was just that. I mean, I love seeing Stryker back, and watching those two go at it. Stryker's going to be, we're going to see him, I assume, some more here later, which is good,
Mhm.
right? So, but yeah, I mean, what was this? Do we have an episode length on this one?
I think this was
hang on.
closer to 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was
Was
a longer one.
19 minutes actually, guys.
Oh, okay,
This one, okay.
it was solid.
What
I
would
didn't
I
feel like
mean?
it was short.
What do we get out of the Luna Blitz stuff?
Not
I think it
really that
was
much. It does
not-
feel more of a distraction.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was more the B plot. I guess you get a bit more of Blitz taking care of Luna, which was kind of
Okay.
nice to. Yeah, but yeah, I think this is more Stryker, and like the sort of meet at the end was Stolas and Blitz.
Right.
Because there is a great moment when as soon as they get out of the hospital, Stolas gets into the hospital,
Mhm.
and because apparently Stryker I'm assuming that Stella gave him these weapons. They're holy weapons.
The whole he had like some kind of like holy rope or something. What was it called?
Right.
Blessed rope. That was
Blessed
it.
rope.
Blessed
Yeah,
rope,
there
yeah.
Yeah, and it looks very similar to that gun that he was going to use in the first season episode that
Yeah.
they confirmed could kill demon royalty. So I'm guessing those were holy weapons.
Okay.
And yeah, you have this moment where you see you don't see Stolas being wheeled in, but you see his tail feathers, so you know it's him. Moxie says something that's like, "Oh yeah," I can't remember if Moxie or Millie said it actually, but they said, "Yeah, Stolas got hurt," and Blitz stands up and he's got this look of face like, "Wait, he can get hurt?"
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That one little, crack that you see every once in a while in Blitz's hard exterior, where he's really concerned, as much as you think that these two guys hate each other.
That ending scene though is quite heartbreaking. Stolas is in the hospital. He's hooked up all to the machines. He's going to make a recovery, and Blitz sends him a text saying, I hope you feel better soon. And he actually had several spelling errors in there, so you could tell he just typed it out quickly. And Stolas responds, "Thank you for your kind words. Hey, I'm going to be in here for a while if you want to come visit me." And you can see the ... of Blitz starting to text something, and then it stops and nothing comes up.
Nothing shows up. And then the little petal falls off the flower, and you're like, ah.
That was a he loves me, not homage. And that actually hit me really hard. I have been in relationships like that where somebody sends me something like that and I'm like, oh, they actually do care, and then I respond, and then you think that they're going to respond back. It's like, no, they don't. And
Where's the rest of this conversation?
and it kills you because it's just for that that blip, that little moment. You think, is there something there? Because they showed a little kindness, and you realize it really was just a blip. That's all it was. It's
Sad
so
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like that they sort of hint a bit at a bit of class struggles in this episode, where because Stryker gets the call to not kill Stolas, and then he decides like, well, I've got a blue blood tied up in front of me and a knife that can hurt him. I'm going to enjoy cutting this guy up. He thinks he's so much better than me. Yada yada yada. And,
yeah, it's like she said, send you back
alive.
alive. She didn't say in how many pieces.
Yeah. But yeah, we sort of see a bit of that, and I think later on, I forget who it was. It might have been Blitz talking about like being in a relationship with a blue
royal.
blood,
Yeah.
royal. It's like as if they really care about us. I'm just as fucked
Right.
kind of thing, and I guess now's maybe a good time to get into it. It's like showing off the relationship between Blitz and Stolas, especially like in the second to last episode of the previous season, where they sort of have the very awkward, disastrous date.
The date at Ozzy's,
Ending. And you kind of see like the two of them, you can tell that underneath it there are feelings there, and they just don't really know what to do with them. and I think there's also just this kind of fear of getting close emotionally together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like you see that later on when Fizz is talking with Blitz about their relationship, and he's just like describing this loving and caring relationship. And then he's like, "Oh, but he doesn't care about me. Like I'm just a slave to him, and it's all transactional, sort of thing." And
It's a
yeah,
transactional fucking. I love that. I always love that line.
yeah, but I think that's kind of like where they're going, is like the two of them have sort of, it started off as that, but it's turned into something more. But they don't, I think in Stolas's case, he doesn't know how to deal with it, like how to proceed. And in Blitz's case, I think he's afraid to acknowledge it, to sort of open up and be that vulnerable to an emotional relationship, whereas it's just easier for him to just blow it off. It's like, it's just sex.
Yeah, it's way easier for him to do that.
Yeah, we got a real look at that in Truth Seekers during Blitz's drug trip, where you hear a lot of lines like, "Are you afraid to actually love people?" And it's like, "You're gonna die alone, Blitzo," and a lot of things like that. He really is terrified,
which ties into
of
that line
putting
to
himself
Luna.
out there.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to Unhappy Campers. This is the only time so far where I.M.P is going to Earth to pull a job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Blitz is a little too preoccupied trying to track down his sister, Barbie Wire. Cute name.
Oh boy.
So Moxie gets to lead, and he ends up completely snafooing the whole thing, but it turns into a great experience for Millie.
Yeah.
So I've already seen cosplays of people dressed as Moxie, Moxine, with the tube top and the hair and the giant ponytails.
That's great. So we had Millie as Millard in this, right?
Yeah.
And Moxie always wants to, he doesn't want to mess up. He never wants to screw anything up, so he's looking forward to taking this job.
It's almost like he had a father that was hard to please.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get a lot of great gags in this episode. Watching everybody kind of fall all over Millard and poor what was the name again? What did he go by?
Moxine or something. Yeah.
Moxine, yeah.
Just cannot get accepted.
Yeah, no matter how hard she tries.
Right. It was.
Yeah, well, teen girls are nightmares to deal with. I would know.
Okay.
I can imagine. Trust me.
I was like, don't you have a teen girl in your house?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Moving on.
Plenty of stories.
But yeah, this also gives a little more character, I would say, to Millie. There's been a little bit, I don't want to say backlash, but I think a lot of fans have been calling out they want more on Millie because I would say she has had the least amount of development out of all of the characters, but mostly just because she seems to be the most well-adjusted. Yeah, like you said, David, she's got loving parents. She comes from a big family. She's got a lot of siblings.
Yeah, she's not particularly like high class. Like she's from out in the sticks, but like not poor, but not wealthy either. Like she's from a farm. Like she's a farm girl.
Yeah, but you kind of get the idea because you do know that she has a ton of siblings. You saw that there's a picture in the and when they go to visit the family, she has a ton of brothers and one sister. I don't know if she's only got one sister or not. Sally Mae, and you kind of get the idea the way she acts like this, that she never really, even though she loves her family, I don't think she's ever had a chance to really stand out and shine. And again, this is relatable for a lot of us. There's a lot of us who, when we finally found something that we were good at and people acknowledged that we were good at, and for the first time, it was just like, we're not just having fun, we're having fun and we're getting a lot of attention for it. And that's just one of the greatest feelings in the world. So you feel that for Millie, but at the same time, she's also trying to placate Moxie, who's sitting there going, like, why is my plan not working? I feel bad for myself.
Yeah, despite it being pretty much all his fault.
Yeah. I love the first minute they're before he even introduced himself to the other campers. Millie literally says like, "Oh, I see the killer. He's got a bag full of money, drugs, and a boat or a drill to puncture holes in the boat.
Yeah.
He's heading to the boathouse. It's like, it's just like, gee, the evidence is this high, and yet Mox is like, no, we have to do this by the book.
Yeah.
And of course, Millie was right. That was the killer, and it turns out he's working with barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got to see Blitz's sister in the first episode, right? When they were doing the backstory, just for a split second.
She was on a poster,
on
the wall. We've never actually seen her in person.
Okay, in the first episode of this season, though, when they did the 25-year, backstory, that she wasn't in there either. Like I could have swore she was, but anyway, I was all excited when I saw her. I was like, "Hey, it's Blitz's sister. We've talked about her in the past. What's she going to be like?" And it turns out she's a drug addict.
Not just a drug addict, but she has pretty much sworn off ever speaking to her brother again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out why actually in the next episode after this.
Right. So our songs this episode were Regular Joe, Everybody Look at Me, and You Got the Power.
Which is pretty much just an 80s power ballad.
Boy, is it ever. Oh, I mean, all I'm thinking of is He-Man the whole time. I don't know why, but it's not.
You can't go wrong with 80s power ballads.
No, you cannot. So, I mean, this episode for me was probably the weakest. It's just for me, though. I did like I did like seeing Blitz's sister and kind of getting a little bit of, a hint as to how bad their relationship is. But Millie and Moxie, they're what you come to these episodes for. Their relationship is like one of the strongest out of here. And a lot of that is on, Millie's shoulders. A lot of times it's her to basically smack Moxie upside the head. So he understands, look, you got a good thing going here, buddy. So, I love watching those two get kind of like that shine on the episode. So that's what it's got. That's what they had in this episode. That's kind of what I had going for me. But
I agree. And even though I liked how both plots tied together at the end, the whole thing with barbed wire was kind of the weak point of the episode, strangely enough. I think we wanted to just see more of Moxie and Millie. We said it in the last video. I'll say it again. # relationship goals.
Right.
Yeah, they have a very healthy relationship.
To the point that they forget at the very end that they're supposed to be playing brother and sister and have sex in front of all those campers.
Parts. Yes.
I have never heard it referred to as they were caught incesting. I was like, that's a verb.
It is now.
Yeah, like it's interesting with the Barbie wire plot is like we didn't really know it was his sister until like almost the end, where you just like they just keep cutting away to Blitz just near murdering people. Where is she? Where did she go? What did she say? Sort of thing. You're just like, holy smokes, he's like stalking this poor woman. What's going on? And then you get the reveal that it's his sister, and she's like out of rehab, and he's trying to make sure that she's not back on the stuff, and then you just get like a horror. Yeah, that's true. It's like, I'm only doing cocaine. It's like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, I hate to say that was a little weird. I was trying to understand. It's like, so she has to go to Earth to get heroin to take back to hell to sell.
I guess it's considered a light drug by hell standards, so it's
that would
more
make
like
sense. Because Blitz says something
yeah.
that doesn't even get rid of a headache.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it'd be kind of like, are you doing cocaine? It's like, no, I'm just smoking tobacco. It's like, oh, okay. Like that's no big deal. But the bit where he's just like, oh, good, you're finally clean. We can go back to you. She's like, no, like I don't. I want nothing to do with you. And like just like that was just so gut wrenching to hear from someone. He's like, no, it wasn't the drugs that kept me away from you. It's just I don't want to be around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say I'm kind of with you, Jesse. This was not one of the stronger episodes. I think a lot of the humor around Maxine was kind of like the sort of cringe humor. And
definitely.
Yeah, I get the joke of just Moxie's trying so hard and he's just failing, whereas Millie's just being herself and everyone thinks it's awesome, to like a comedically exaggerated effect where she pretty much becomes the most popular person on the planet within a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that kind of thing. Like, yeah, this I feel uncomfortable, and not in like a fun way. It's just like, ugh, like, please stop, Moxie. You're just this isn't going to go
Poor
your
guy.
way.
Yeah, when you hear the lyrics to "Look at Me," it's just I was trying to figure out. It's like, so are you? Do you think this is what teen girls like? It's just like, I'm a work of art and radiant and oh so smart. Everyone wishes they were me, but they can't. I'm just like, why do you think this is what you should be singing? I missed the lead up to how that was a joke.
Misconception.
I do love the closed caption or the little follow the bouncing ball thing.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, epic banjo solo. Oh, are you going to cry, Moxine? Not everything is about you. That was great. And that leads us into what is actually my favorite episode of the season, just simply called Oops. Which we get to see Fizzaroli and his relationship with Asmodeus. Speaking of a royal sleeping with an imp.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, again, the irony, you hypocrites.
Pretty much. Yeah. Another interesting thing I noticed, I didn't catch it the first time we saw the lustring, but now that we've seen it a couple more times, it's always raining in the lustring. And again, if you read the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, he describes the lustring as always being storming, as the inhabitants are thrown around and torn apart by never-ending storms.
Interesting.
Huh. So I noticed that because, it was raining the first time we saw it. And I just thought, oh, it's raining on a date night. But then when I saw it was still raining, I just realized, oh my God, that it's an allusion to that. Again, great detail. I loved that. But yeah, so Fizz has to go to the greed ring on his own. And he runs into Blitz and they get into a fight. And wouldn't you know it, they get into a fight right outside the window of Crimson's office, and he's holding an interview with Stryker for a position, and the two get kidnapped, and so Fizz can be ransomed off.
I'll hire you if you can bring me a high-value hostage. And he just looks out the window. Lasso.
1 second.
Yep, you're hired.
That was great.
Perfect.
So, yeah, but this is the one we get. This is the exposition, the lore bomb really getting dropped on us on this one. And we find out so much. I love that we see more of Asmodeus. We also find out more with Stolas and what he has in mind. This is something that's been built up actually since the first episode of season 2. During Stolas's lament song, he opens his book and you briefly see him reading something about Asmodean crystals. Which I think someone translated what those runes actually said. I don't know. We're nerds. We have way too much free time on our hands. And then in the episode with Stryker, he briefly looks down at his phone during his interview or during his meeting with Andrealphus and Stella, and it says like meeting with Asmodeus approved or something like that. So I like that this has kind of been a buildup. But yeah, he wants one of Ozzy's crystals to give to Stolas, essentially to kind of see. It's like, okay, are you with me because you want to be with me? Or are you with me because I've got the grimoire and you need that for your company? If I give you the crystal, will I ever see you again?
One of those relationship tests.
Which I think we're going to get with, I think it's actually, the next episode is called The Full Moon. And we know that the full moon is when Blitz has to return with the grimoire to Stolas for a night of passionate fornication. So I think it's going to wrap up with that one and he's going to present him with the crystal in that one. Could be wrong. So, but yeah, we have Blitz and Fizz tied up and they finally get to work out their issues. And we find out what happened to drive them apart. Not to mention how Blitz got all those scars all over his face and how Fizz got the robotic limbs in a pretty terrifying accident, actually.
What exactly happened? Because I at this time I've got the episode playing. I'm looking down. There's fire everywhere, but then I have to look away. Tell me what happened that caused them Go ahead.
I think it was like Fizz was sort of the more talented of the two at the circus. And I think like if they don't get too into it, maybe they'll add a little more onto it. But I think Blitz was jealous, like not hostilely jealous, but just like, like I can't stand this. And there's just a bit where I think it's Fizz's birthday. I'm thinking, or
I
there
think
was a
so.
cake.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a cake.
Yeah, it was a cake. It was either a birthday or a celebration or something. And Blitz just sort of turns around in disgust, like, I can't be here. And he bumps the person carrying the cake. They drop the cake, and then the candles hit the fabric of the tent and light it all on fire. And then it's all burning down, pandemonium. Fizz can't escape, and Blitz is too afraid to go in and try and rescue him, so he runs away. And so Fitz is just like, you caused this fire, and you left me to die.
It wasn't just a fire. Fizz tried to get away, and he ended up in a room with fireworks.
Oh, okay.
That with the tent on fire. So he didn't just get caught in the fire. He got blown up.
Yeah,
he got blown up. But we do also find out that Blitz was trying to figure out what was going on, and it's not specifically said, but I think it's alluding to his mother died in the fire.
Yeah,
so I think he was essentially saying, I didn't run away from you because I didn't want to help you. I ran because I was trying to find my family. Because
yeah, that piece is still, I don't think they've put that into place yet, but yeah, they've hinted that there's more to the story relating to probably Blitz's mother.
That would make sense also with Barbed Wire, why she doesn't want anything to do with him. If everyone in the circus thinks that Blitz started the fire,
right,
whether it was an accident or not, Barbie could look at him and say, you started the fire that killed our mother.
Yeah, that's what I was tying it to. I was like, it has to be because of this event, or at least something surrounding it, or that happened because of it. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, the moments where Blitz lets everything down and finally embraces some actual core emotion that he has and lets that out. And when he hugs Fizz and he's like, I'm sorry, man, that is probably the most powerful moment in this season for me.
And I even like Blitz doesn't argue his way out of it. He's like, oh, it was all just based on, she's like, no, I screwed up. Right. This is my fault. And I accept that. And I deserve your hatred.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
We also find out that apparently he tried to visit Fizz in the hospital because Fizz wanted to see him, but they never say who it was. He just says, they told me you didn't want to see me. And Fizz says, probably Blitz's dad. Oh, I thought it was Blitz's dad.
Okay, maybe. I didn't realize it was him in the hospital. I thought it was more like after he had moved in with Osmodius, and Osmodius just blocked Blitz from seeing him because he thought that's what Fizz wanted. But I could be wrong. I wasn't parsing every sentence.
I could be wrong too. I just remember him saying, "Well, why didn't you try to come and see me? You could have seen me at least once." I assumed he meant see me in the hospital. But it may be something else. You never know.
Things might get fleshed out more, or maybe it's just not that important, the details of it. Just he tried, but he couldn't, just due to other factors, and sometimes that's life.
Yeah, and probably felt extremely guilty too. I mean, I sometimes it's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, him accepting what he did and finally just those two kind of, I remember when seeing them both on the screen, you could tell they were like almost mortal enemies. When, what was that, back in season 1, I was like, well, these guys have some history. There's some problems between these two. And to reach this episode and watch them kind of work it out, or at least start to work it out, it was gratifying.
Yeah,
very much so. And I also love that there's a great bit for the record, all praise to Alex Brightman, who voices Fizzarolli. He is incredible.
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying that because I finally saw Beetlejuice the musical.
Yeah. Like I got a bit of Gilbert Gottfried vibes from Fizzarolli's voice. Like it's I like the fact that he could sing in that voice is impressive. It's not a voice I particularly find soothing, shall we say? But that's the voice, and they're going with it, and he's doing it. So, good on him.
Apparently, Brightman. I'm trying to remember what it was. He did an interview. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. He has a medical condition that essentially equates to 2 extra vocal cords. So whereas if we try to do that voice, it's going to wear down our vocal cords and it's very painful for us. He can do it without any kind of pain. He can do it a lot easier. So that's why he was able to pull it off.
Good on him. I learned something new today.
That's pretty cool.
So, but yeah, I think we all agree what is probably the best song in the whole season so far.
Yeah, I was going to say up to here. Yeah, Look at This is definitely top of what we get. It's next to, or I should say just above what we're going to get in the next. And by golly, it's a Fizzarelli song as well. So,
almost rhymes.
Yeah.
I do like just how shallow it is.
Moments.
Like it's almost like the montage song from like South Park or Team America, where just like we're doing an 80s montage song singing about.
We're gonna have a montage. Yes.
Yeah, show a lot of things happening at once, so everyone knows what's going on. Yeah,
it's so funny because
a little bit of improvement. Yeah,
I'm listening to the lyrics of the song as he's singing it, and I'm like, what is going on here? Oh, he's just trying to do a distraction. Okay, I understand that. Yeah. And then it's like he just says a bunch of gibberish, and then he says, "Yep, I just said a bunch of gibberish." I was like, "Oh, this is a great song. This is fun."
And then like Blitz is like, I need another 60 seconds. Like, oh damn it!
And then he starts singing random words in Italian.
Yes.
Lugini, Shingada. I remember someone wrote down. It's like this is literally just random ass Italian words. It means nothing. Oh my god, I freaking love. And I also love because if you watch the reaction of the criminals, and not Striker or Crimson, but the thugs, they're getting into it. There's one who's like actually like at the hearts is like, oh, and then they're crying at the end of it, like they're so moved. I got a friend who's a huge D&D player who watched that episode, and he said, wow, Fizzarelli actually got some bard lessons. Yes. He knows distract and he knows enchant.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but no, that was a really good. Again, I loved that musical number. Love that we finally learned what happened between the two, and I just love all the performances. Everyone's great in it. Yeah.
I also thought Stolas was hilarious in that episode. Just being like because oh geez, I keep forgetting his name. Scarlet Crimson.
Crimson.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Red something.
You're gonna rattle off every single shade of red until you get it right.
Magenta,
magenta, aubergine,
mauve,
salmon, fuchsia. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for you to suddenly shout out something like, I don't know, blue.
Yep. Works.
You have vermilion. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. But so Crimson, sends his lawyer over to Osmodius to like basically get him to sign over his empire to him in exchange for Fizzarelli. And Stoltz is like, oh, we should read the fine print here, and we need to negotiate. And there's just this like one bit where he's like, ooh, this just looks like so much fun. I love words.
Yes, he says it's like, I love words. Such
a random expression, line. Just like, kill me now. Like, I just want to solve my problem with violence.
I love when Stolas has fallen asleep and he's snoring. He's hooting like an owl when he snores. It was so cute.
That's funny.
No, you're right. That is really good. I love Stolas trying to help out Ozzy, and I love. He's just like, let me read over this for you. Yeah,
especially after how much a giant dick Osmodius was to him in the previous season. Like, it's right. It's really that was just kind of strange. It's like, like Stolas, how's it going? Sorry about the other day. Like, I have, I'm, Prince of Lust. I have a job to do, and it's just like, dude, like you were like really nasty to them, like. You probably re-traumatized that relationship.
Yeah.
There is a great bit from Ozzy, though, in that scene where Stolas is there to get the crystal, and he's talking about how he has feelings for Blitz. And I don't know the exact speech, but Ozzy says, well, if you want a love potion, I'm not doing that. And he talks about it's like lust should not be forced. It's all about that feel. And in a way, you could very easily just say love. You know, just remove lust and talk about love. And there's just something, I don't want to say heartwarming, but I'm running out of adjectives about the idea of the king of lust saying, I am not giving you essentially what is a date rape drug. So
these are very, very ethical demons.
Yeah. Some of them do.
And the factory with more dicks.
Yes.
With the exploding vibrator.
I just want to say that I have done
the test chamber that was a good one. Yes.
I've done 3 shows in the past week and a half, I think, maybe 2 weeks on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. 2 of which I will say had a lot of penis violence.
Yeah.
All right.
And those 2 were with me hosting.
Yeah, you were a part. You were hosting, and then sure enough, we talked about the Deuce last night, and that was nothing but more penis talk. I swear to goodness, I don't know what the next show is.
Seriously, why do we not have Mark on this show? You've got like penis violence and like relationship drama. Like it's everything he enjoys.
I'm gonna have to jump on a Star Trek episode or something soon.
Then you will find the one Star Trek episode with more penile violence. Something goes wrong with them beaming them up, and they beamed up without the penis, or so the penis got left behind on the planet.
Yeah, not so much. I've got a few episodes of Lower Decks left to watch. If it's going to happen,
maybe let me know, because I'll be a part of it.
Yeah, new theme for TV party tonight. All penis violence all the time.
Oh gosh.
And we're finally going to get the viewership numbers we've been wanting. We might actually make money.
The missing piece. The missing penis.
Yes. Really is
in all fairness, though, these weren't actually like real exploding dicks. They were exploding vibrators.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I do love. Well, what was the way Fizz told? It's like you got to go over the new shipment of vibrators. Then you have to have a safety meeting because of what happened with the old shipment. But the way he says it, the old shipment of vibrators. I just love the way he says that. I don't know why he said it like that, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, everything on that to-do list is vibrator adjacent. It's.
I guess everything on Ozzy's to-do list is penis adjacent.
Probably.
But you ever stop and realize that the artists actually have to blur out? Because that's what's hilarious. Is like that we see so much violence. So like again, we have a skull and Millie goes freaking scorpion from Mortal Kombat on a goon, but showing those vibrators getting painted, that's standard practices.
You can have like someone being like flossed in half and their skin peeled off and entrails splattered all over the place, but heaven forbid someone see a dick or a boob.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, going back to X's and O's, it's like I just remember watching going, did they actually draw them as pixelated, or did someone draw them and then they had to pixelate them over? I want to know what the standard is for removing the dicks.
Please explain that to us, please.
This is going on TikTok. Okay, so was there anything else we wanted to talk about with Oops?
No, it is kind of cool to see Fizz give, permission to go ahead and give them that crystal. So you can see that we're working towards a recovering relationship between him and Blitz, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of heavy lifting done in this episode. Yeah, character wise, emotionally, but and they still managed to have some good fun with it too.
Agreed.
I will say this again. I follow a lot of stuff about Vivzie and the shows on Twitter, and I see a lot of hashtags. The fan art of Ozzy and Fizz together is plentiful and it is adorable. Again, hashtag relationship goals. People love these two together.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I do give that a lot also to the voice actors, because again, you got Brightman as Fizz, and what's the name of the voice actor? James Monroe Eaglehart. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I can help you there.
Is the voice of Osmodes. He's also a big Broadway actor. He originated the role of the genie in Broadway's Disney's Aladdin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
tell me who Vivzie's connection is with all the Broadway actors? Where is she getting all these people?
Right.
Yeah. My only guess is maybe the actors that she does work with enjoy working so much that they're, networking.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that moves us on to the final episode we're going to talk about tonight. That is Mammon's magnificent musical mid-season special featuring Fizzarolli. And then we are introduced to another major sin, the king of greed, Mammon, who looks like a giant. I know he's a jester, but he looks like a walking Christmas tree.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
big
kind of
dude.
does. Mm-hmm.
Big dude.
Yeah, and we also have another guest voice actor for this. Let me get the credits on this one. Load faster, damn you. Michael Cusack is the voice of Mammon. This is an Australian artist and voice actor who was the writer and creator of Smiling Friends and YOLO Silver Destiny and Koala Man. I don't know if anyone here is familiar. I'm familiar with Smiling Friends, but I've never heard of the others.
Yeah, it sounds like a very family-friendly children's show.
It's Adult Swim.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably isn't.
Yeah. Sounds like it is not.
Yeah. Let's face it. There is no way they brought him off of something like Bluey and then brought him on to play Mammon.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like George Carlin being on Shining Time Station.
I would have watched that.
I remember seeing pictures.
Yeah.
So we find out more about how Fizz kind of became Mam's big figure, like how we got that robot at Lululand.
Mm-hmm.
Although this leads to absolutely I'm serious, this is my favorite moment so far in the series, when Mam's on stage introducing the idea of the clown pageant. And he says, what is it? It's like, but if you're a chick, you may just want to quit now, because I'm not going to lie, women aren't funny. And literally he says that the written by Vivienne Medrano credit.
Oh, that's funny.
Nice.
Oh my God, I just love little meta fourth wall jokes like that.
That's pretty funny. I didn't catch that. That's great.
Oh, that was great. So, but yes, we find out about how Fizz got into it. We see a little bit more of what Fizz was like before the accident. I didn't realize this. I guess his voice was changed by the accident too, because he has a more normal sounding voice.
Definitely.
I'm guessing they're teenagers when they went. Sorry, my dog's just knocked something over. Cleo, no distracting mommy while she's recording.
No. See?
Now you're getting some sass. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie. I said no. But we learn more about that, and we find out that apparently Mam does this clown pageant yearly, and Fizz has been entering and winning for 10 years running. Whoever wins gets to be exploited.
Yeah.
Well, it was like we got stuffed fizzies, sex doll fizzies, wait in line for you fizzy. I love it. Dr. Fizzies beep every time they sense cancer. And yeah, it's just really stressing him out. And Ozzy is trying to convince him to just skip it, to quit. But he won't listen to him because, let's face it, we rarely ever listen to our significant others about this kind of stuff. And Oz actually calls in Blitz and says, okay, I know you guys are better on speaking terms now. Would you come be with us on this? Not only will we listen to you, but it looks like, he's going back to his old bodyguard duties there, which is kind of fun. And again, this goes back to more of the abusive relationship. Ozzy and Blitz can very easily see that Mam is an abusive boss.
Right.
And he is trying he is just horrible to him. And Fizz can't see it. He is I don't think he's in denial, but I think he's just unwilling to accept. And will someone else talk for a minute while I deal with this?
It's I think his relationship with Mammal gives him validation. I need to he needs to have something that says like you are successful, you are valued, sort of thing. Like I almost sort of wonder, and I don't think they quite did this in the episode, but I think it would have been interesting if it had been, because like a lot of people throw in his face that he's basically like Ozymandias' sugar baby. Like, he's and it's, so I almost think it's sort of him saying, no, like there's something more to me than that. Like even if I wasn't with Ozymandias, I would be I would still be good on my own. Like I've got skills. There's more to me than just
Right.
being his buddy kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. The whole validation, and the thing is that unfortunately, that's not really what's happening here, because at the end he starts to realize, or at least he says it out loud, that hey, I wouldn't be anything without Mammon here. I would not have any of this, and so he realizes that he doesn't have much agency, I guess is the best word, because he's just told to, you're a funny clown, dance for me, and it's kind of sad until he finally makes his decision to leave, which is great.
And we also find that he looked up to Mammal as like his sort of hero, like this is like the best clown in the world, and I want to be the best clown in the world. So to have the best clown in the world acknowledge me as basically the next best clown in the world, that's it's having your hero, having the respect of your hero. But of course it's not respect, it's exploitation. He just wants to make money off of him. And then like, hey, if Fizz was okay with that, it's just like, I know the nature of this relationship, okay, fair enough. But it's clear that he was not really there for the money. He was there for the what he thought was the respect, or like, this is the guy who's going to take care of me. And it's like, no, he's not taking care of you. He's using you until you're not useful anymore. Then he's going to throw you away.
Yeah.
I do kind of wonder if Ozzy didn't meet Fizz until after he became Mam's brand figure.
Yeah, that's we don't know that.
Because he does. I know obviously the whole, it's like you wouldn't be with me if I wasn't working for Mam, but at the same time it does run the questions like, well, did he meet you before or after you got this gig? Because it wouldn't surprise me if he did meet him after getting the gig. And so, he thinks it's like he wouldn't. Again, it's like, I don't think he was like, I wouldn't have even met you. I wouldn't have known you if I wasn't working for Mam. So I owe him that too.
Yeah, this episode, it kind of dives into obviously hero worship. You see that person as a hero. Also dives into like, toxic fame. A little bit there, the whole, I want to become famous so I can get the respect of others, but at what cost? What's the cost of doing what you're doing? You lose yourself a lot of times.
Yeah, and that's kind of Ozymandias's sort of his talk to Fizz in the rooms, like, look, I don't care about any of that stuff. You're still you without the accolades, the fame. Like, you're all I need. You're all I want. Like, I don't care about, how famous or rich you are.
Yeah. And as soon as it's just trying to get that person to realize you are worth a lot more than you think you are. And just without any of that extra stuff, you just be you. And that's worth $1 million to me. And it's, again, another broken character, a person who can't accept themselves for who they really are, or can accept their past has shaped them into being a person that just can't get over some things. And in this episode, we kind of watch this person get over that thing with a brilliant musical number at the end. So
yeah, I mean, we have that whole scene with, I'm just going to call him what he is, the incel.
The overzealous fan.
That guy.
It's like, do I need to go Urban Dictionary and explain to you what an incel is?
How about you explain it to our audience?
Involuntarily celibate.
Okay. All right. There you go. This is a guy who can't get laid.
Yep.
I am convinced that Vivzie had this exact conversation with an overzealous fan at a showing or at a signing or something, because this guy shows up and he's just like, it's like, you've inspired me. In fact, I have this great idea for something we can do together. And it's just like, oh my, it's like, I know we're not famous yet, we could get enough listeners.
I like your optimism.
I'm working on 10 years here. 10 years of podcasting coming up soon.
But we all know that feeling, just like, please let go of my hand and go away. I will literally do anything to get out of this conversation and to have you stay as far away from me as possible. But and then he shows up again later at the pageant and just just cannot stop. And we have seen so many fans like this. They have this vision in their head of the way things are going to be. There, this delusional fantasy, and when it doesn't come true, they don't know how to react other than just throw all their hatred, because it's like, this is what I wanted, and I am not willing to accept that it was going to be any different. You have just destroyed my fantasy of what I wanted, so now I hate you.
Yeah. I'm gonna destroy you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. I almost kind of thought they were gonna do something with that character where it's sort of he forces sort of Fizzerali to just instead of just get away from you, you lose your, just to kind of work with the situation, sort of turn it into a joke, just sort of show him no, I really am. I am a good clown. I am the best clown, and no matter what life throws at me, I'm gonna, clown my way out of it, sort of thing like that. And that could have been where he sort of gets his realization of, I don't need the external validation. I've got it all. That's where he gets his confidence to go and upstage the sisters, or that kind of thing.
That's
not,
glam.
That's not the direction they took the story. It was more for him to get the panic attack, so then Ozymandias could give him the pep talk. But I just thought that would have been a bit more of an interesting use of that character, rather than just he bursts into the dressing room with a knife and Blitzo shoots him through the head.
Yeah.
Although admittedly, let's face it, we're all glad Blitzo shot him.
Oh right. Yeah, I don't mourn his loss. It was just kind of, it would have been a bit more if there had been more of a message to it, a bit you've spent the last 10 years of your life sitting in front of your computer, running hate sites for Fizz, whereas Fizz has been
that long ass website for his blog on how much he hates. I loved just how long it was.
Yeah,
it's .com,
.net, .gov.
Yeah, how did the government get involved here? Okay.
Yeah. Whereas if it was just been if you'd put half the amount of effort into actually becoming the great clown you say you were, that you did into hating on Fizzarelli, you'd probably be a pretty damn good clown. You could have been third place in the competition, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
I think part of
have a bit of a message to it, other than this guy sucks, blow his head off, which again was fun.
Well, I think it was because the message they were really going with, and I could be wrong, but I think it was the idea of focus on the healthy relationships in your life, not the unhealthy.
Yeah.
Oz and Fizz, again, are the most adorable couple. They are an incredibly healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of the idea of what Vivzie was saying, is that we all have moments where we are stuck in unhealthy relationships, but we can find healthy ones as well. And the idea is to put your energy into the ones that help you.
Yeah.
Again, she's really, pushing that message, and God bless her for that.
Well, even to go back to the previous episode where Fizz sort of says it really sucked, Blitz, what you did, but at the same time, where I ended up in life is in a good place. Mm-hmm. I have someone who loves me, and I'm I'm well taken care of. So it wasn't so much thank you for doing this to me, but it was just
probably in a better place than he would have been if he had just stuck in the circus.
Things worked out in the end, not in the way he had originally guessed, but again, welcome to life. A lot of things what happens when you're making other plans. But sometimes where you end up, although not where you expected, it turns out to be a pretty good place. But I just,
and of course he's got a giant cock. It's like a kaiju, but it's a cock.
but again, just that moment where Blitz walks in on them and he sees them being all lovey-dovey, it's oh, so you two really are lovebirds. Congratulations, fucking hypocrites. Just the delivery was just so perfect on that line, considering how much shit him and Stolas got at the end of the last season. He doesn't go into a long speech, he doesn't read them the riot act. It's just it just says it all in that one little glib line that just fuck you guys for what you did to us. Moving on.
And that leads us into one of the best songs. I still say Look at This is the best song.
It really is. It really is.
I still say Look at This is the best song, but the catharsis felt in this musical number is one for the books. And
And who hasn't ever wanted to sing this song or a version
Oh,
of it
man.
at some point in their life?
No doubt.
yes, very much. It's the official title is 2 Minutes Notice. But oh my, I watched. I'm like, why couldn't this have come out when I quit my old job before I started Honeysuckle Rose Creations? I would have loved to have played this on a speaker and just held it over my head and just flipped off my old boss and moonwalked out of that office.
I think Doug Walker did something like that when he quit his job before going online. I mean,
Yeah, it's a very
Again,
famous video.
Yeah, as just life advice to you young people out there. I know it's tempting. Who would not love to just, photocopy your butt and stick it to your boss's face and say, "Screw you, I quit," flip everyone off. But, be careful of the foot you step on today, as it might be connected to the ass you have to kiss tomorrow.
Be careful about burning bridges, guys, because
Yes.
once you burn them, they're not coming back.
Yeah. So, maybe celebrate in your mind. Maybe don't voice those concerns, because you never know, that might come back to bite you later on in life.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Yes.
Words.
I had a former assistant freak out and quit from who worked for me from my company. And then she went in and applied for a job, and that boss called in for a reference from me. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't get to burn. It's like, again, you don't get to burn that bridge and then ask me for a reference. That's not the way this works.
Yep. Very, very good life example of that. Yeah. Remember, no matter who you're working for, they could be a reference someday. And you want that to be a good one, I assume.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's all just enjoy that moment in our heads of thinking about, because I know I don't know who you guys work for right now, and if you have a good relationship with your boss or not.
Oh, I love my job and my boss. They're great. It's great.
But we've all worked at least one job in our lives where we had the worst boss in the world, and we would have loved to walk in and sing the song to them.
Yeah, this is your anthem, folks. Throw it on and listen to it. It's great.
It is a show-stopping number. I love that.
Yeah. So now after this song, what was the name of the villain in this one again? It was Mammon, right?
Mammon.
You're called
close enough. Yeah.
You're calling him
look, if you want to call him Mammon, I've heard that
That's what I'll do.
pronunciation. I don't know, but I know in the show they call him Mammon. I've just been calling him Ma'am because that's the way
That's perfect.
the others called him.
I'm all right with that. So after the song gets sung, and Fizzarelli's like, "Look, I'm done." Mam's still got to hold something over him though, and it's the fact that Fizz and oh my goodness, what was the name? Ozzy.
Yeah, we could just call him Ozzy. I've probably been butchering the name all night.
They're in love, and
the king of lust believes in love.
Yes, and he throws it at him like, "I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell everybody." He's like, that I'm in love with him, and then everybody's just like, "Yeah, oh my goodness!" Everybody,
let the tweets fly! Let the tweets fly!
My favorite was the guy with like 3 cell phones strapped to his arm.
Just going on.
Yeah, and it's so crazy that, and I understand this is the god of lust. He can't love anybody. As a matter of fact,
this is very off-brand.
Yes, exactly. Well, what was the song that was sung in that episode in season 1? It was like he was making fun, if I remember correctly.
Moxie and Millie for singing about love. Yeah, it's like singing love songs in my lustful lounge. I always love that song.
So again, this is character development here. This person has went from that to this. Now, you can see that oh my goodness, Ozzy cares. Ozzy absolutely cares.
Yeah,
We can see that leading up to this whole moment, and the fact that he's called out on it, you're wondering like, okay, is he going to be the jerk? Is he going to be the high uppity up and not admit to actually caring for Fizz in any way? And that's not the case. He's able to come right out and say, "Yes, I love this. I don't
think it's so much him being a jerk as it's just more like the personal cost to him.
Yeah, class structure.
Because the idea is that Mamon's doing that, you don't walk away from me. Nobody walks away from me. And then Ozzy comes out to back him up. And it's just like, are you really going to do this, Ozzy? Like, if you stand up here, like, I'm going to tell everyone your little secret. And then he's just like, what, that we're in love? He's just like, yeah, go ahead. Like,
I'll
think it's
beat
in
you
that
to
moment,
it. I'll
like-
tell everyone for you.
Yeah, like it's at that moment where, like his Fizz's safety is more important to him than everything at that point.
Yeah, he's willing to throw away everything because he won't let Ma'am control Fizz anymore. He's like, if coming clean means I save the one I love from having to, stay with you, then so be it.
Yeah. Right. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is where we are at right now. Again, we have 5 episodes that are coming out, I believe, next year, called The Full Moon, Apology Tour, Ghost Fuckers, Mastermind, and Sinsmas, Sinsmas.
Yeah.
And hopefully after those, we'll be back to talk about that. We haven't heard anything about those yet, but we have gotten confirmation on Twitter and Instagram that that Vizzie and her crew are currently recording for season 3.
All right.
Okay.
So it's definitely coming back. And like we said earlier, come January, we are going to have our first season of Has Been Hotel, which has already been greenlit for season 2. Hoping you two will be back after. I don't know if they're going to release all the episodes or if it's going to be one.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
this might be February or March when we talk about it. I don't know.
Well,
We'll
I
get
don't-
it on the schedule as soon as we know something.
Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, they already put out the first song from it called "Happy Day in Hell," and I can't hear it and not picture it on stage. This sounds like a big Broadway number. But did you guys see the voice actors they've gotten for Has Been Hotel?
No, I don't think so.
We've got a full cast again, mostly Broadway actors. The actress playing Charlie, I need to double check, but I believe she originated Regina George in the musical Mean Girls.
Okay.
Vaggie is going to be played by Stephanie Beatrix. This was the girl who played Mirabelle in Encanto. She's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she was recently in Twisted Metal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I recognize that name, yeah, and actress.
Alex Brightman, who we've been praising the hell out of, is on for Serpentius, the snake demon.
Okay, yeah.
And Keith David is on to voice Husk. I am so down. I love Keith David.
Pretty big name there.
Yeah. Oh, and I think they got Kamiko Glenn, who I've seen pop with a lot of voice acting, who's going to be doing the voice of Nifty, the little one-eyed cute maid. So again, we got a full cast for this. I'm really excited about it.
Cool.
So looking forward to that. But yeah, all of these episodes we've talked about so far are available on Vivzie's YouTube channel. We highly recommend checking them all out. They are so much fun, so enjoyable. I've
Literally free.
Literally free. Yeah. Well, you have ads, but congratulations. That's YouTube.
Yeah. Can I ask a question real quick about the ads? Because I noticed something today, and it might just be you and me, because I know they personalize these things. But usually I'm watching if I'm watching my regular like Good Mythical Morning or something like that, the ads that I get are pretty standard, like Kohl's or something like that. The ads that were in my VivziePop stuff was I had a Rock. Let's try that again. The Rock artificial intelligence ad. Like they cloned his voice and was like running an ad, which I've never seen before. Is this common? You guys see this a lot on YouTube?
I didn't get anything out of the ordinary when I watched. So
I really would like to know what the algorithm is to figure out what ads to run on YouTube, because the majority of the ads I get are for Adobe Express. You know how they just push the new AI function from Adobe? Yeah. Oh my God, that's all I get. I get that, a couple of movie trailers, and that new John Travolta Christmas commercial, which admittedly is really freaking adorable. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't got any of that. Mind you, I'm up here in Canada. Maybe we're getting different YouTube ads.
He's dressed as Santa, and it's basically kind of a recreation of the opening scene from Saturday Night Fever, but he's walking down the streets dressed as Santa.
Okay.
It's a credit card commercial, but it's adorable. It's really cute, and credit to John Travolta. He still has that kind of fun swagger, so he can pull it off. I like that.
Good stuff.
So
Well, I'm
But yeah,
glad I derailed everything for that. I apologize, but I was just taken aback because everything on my advertisement was completely different from what I've gotten earlier, and I'm like, is this just because of Vivzie? Or I don't know, a VivziePop? I have no idea, but
This
sounds like
podcast has everything in it.
It's all me, I'm sure.
So, but yes, sorry, I got something in my throat there.
Mhm.
Also point out that there is the Shark Robot store where Vivzie is selling all of their pins and t-shirts and hats and
Merch.
stuff. Helluva Boss is entirely fan funded. This is what lets her keep it on YouTube and what lets her keep it for free and what lets her do what she wants to do, including blurring out all of those peni. We're never going to escape it.
Nope.
So if you like the show and you're interested in what we've been talking about, go check out her store on Shark Robot. I've bought a couple of pins and a t-shirt. I love her stuff. They have actually a really, they just announced their Black Friday sale with a bunch of stuff, and I fell in love. They've got a Has-Been Hotel knitted scarf, and it's so cute. It's got the key on it. And it's like, I kind of want that.
Nice.
So if you want to help support their show, go check it out. We highly recommend it. Cannot wait until the last 5 episodes of the season drop, and we're back here talking about how much we love them and seeing where all this is going. Because, yeah, now we've got Stolas has got the Asmodean crystal. We want to see what's going to happen when he gives it to Stolas. Ozzy has just outed himself, basically. This is the equivalent of like a Southern Baptist preacher basically standing up and saying, "I'm gay." So we want to see,
as opposed to us finding it out when the video surfaces from the male prostitute they were filleting.
Right.
pretty much.
You can pretty much start a timer whenever they start with the hell, fire, and brimstone speech. Like, how long till they're outed?
Yeah, no kidding. But we want to see now how this is going to affect them. We want to see what's going to happen to Ozzy. Because Mammon threatens him at the end. He says, "You are going to regret revealing this."
Yeah.
So I want to see, it's like, well, what happens to a sin when they do something like this? Is he going to be removed from power, or does he have to answer to Lucifer? What's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, and everything turned out totally fine is not a very good premise for a story.
No.
Absolutely. So looking forward to seeing more adventures of Blitz and Moxie and Millie and Luna. We hopefully will get more of Erica Lindbeck back to do more voice work next season, or the next half of the season. She is a very funny voice actress. I do miss I miss hearing Luna talk.
Same.
So we'll see what happens next year. Okay, who wants to do plugs first?
I'll go. Let me go.
Ahead.
All right, here we go. So, folks, I do a podcast on the W2M network. It is called the Source Material Comics Podcast, and I actually have my own feed here. We have a couple shows that show up on there. We have Unspoken Issues, which dropped this past Monday, where I focus on 90s comics, and I just did a solo shot on that, and it was like my big project for a very obscure comic that came out in 95. Essentially came from the mind of Rob Liefeld, called Nightmare. That's with a K. That's right. So we're talking about an extreme vigilante who has a panache for Don Quixote. Oh, look out. But yeah, so I talked about all 6 issues in the podcast that dropped this past Monday. I also wrote an article on it that dropped yesterday on the Unspoken Decade. And there's a video series on the Source Material YouTube page. So you can check that out. If you want to see what I'm talking about, you can look at the pretty little pictures that go along with my voice. That's right there on the YouTube page. But next week, Monday hits, me and Mark Radulich get together, and we're talking Archie meets the Ramones. That's right. Archie, I don't think is crossed over with, I don't know. Actually, I think he's crossed over with everybody. Like, there is an Archie meets Predator, there is an Archie meets the Punisher, and there is an Archie meets the Ramones. And guess what? Time travel's involved.
Can't be when Archie meet the Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
I've read that. Don't they get put into Riverdale by being having a giant floating cow head spit them out?
You would know better than I do, because I had no idea that happened. That's great. Are you serious? That's what happened. That's perfect. Well, Archie Mesa Ramones, Mark Radulich and I tackle that. He had a lot of fun talking the CBGBs, which is some club there in New York, I guess. You got to run down some fun band talk, I guess you would say. And
I'm sorry, I'm just going to hold on to CBGB, some club in New York. You are adorably small town.
I don't know much, I swear.
I love you, Jesse.
I'm
You know
glad
I
we
love
have.
you.
I'm glad we have the internet, so I could learn things and learn what's out there past, I don't know, Indiana. But yeah, that's it. I think you could check out the Kapow the Pop Culture podcast. I'm going to be showing up on that here pretty soon. We're going to be having a fun time over there too. Every once in a while, I'll drop by and I share that on my Facebook feed. So that's it. I'm gonna be done. Yep, I'm done.
For the record, still waiting for us to talk Spider-Punk on your show.
Oh yeah, we got to schedule that. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I started reading that, and then I was like, hey, I got to schedule this. Didn't schedule it. I'll remember. I promise.
Okay.
All right.
We'll find time somewhere after I've sold my soul to Mark for the rest of this year. David, go ahead. Where are we going to hear from you next?
Not quite sure, but it'll either probably be on the Has Been Hotel review, or I think Mark and I are set to talk Lower Deck season 4 at some point. So early next year.
You're not on for Loki tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
I'm way behind on my Loki.
Who's all on the Loki show?
I'm actually bringing in a couple of outsiders for that one, including Vincent Van Spock. We've had him on a couple of our Star Wars show reviews, and someone who I used to record with with the Bleeding Edge. His name was Gunnar Maelstrom. He brought me on couple of weeks, not a couple of weeks ago, but like a week and a half ago, to discuss the new Beatles single.
Okay. All right.
It was actually kind of fun because the day it dropped, he immediately messaged me. He's like, "Have you heard it yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't had a chance to. I was about to." And he said, "Good, don't," because he wanted to get a group of people who hadn't listened to it. He knew I'm a huge Beatles fan. He's like, "I want to get I want to get everyone to listen to it for the first time, so we can get a first reaction as a group."
Live reaction, nice. All
So
right.
we had a lot of fun with that. It was, and yeah, obviously, I freaking love the song.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So we got that, and I extended an invite to Andrew Graham, but I don't know if he's caught up with Loki yet or not. So I need to find out if he's going to be on or not.
Well, that's going to be a good show. I enjoyed watching Loki. I'd be on there hanging out with you guys if I could. But I did enjoy the second season very much.
All right. Was that it, David? Was there anything else?
Well, no, it's not a whole lot on the schedule right now.
All right. Well, so yes, as I mentioned, going to be will you freaking load up freaking page here? Discussing Loki season 2 tomorrow. Looking forward to that. David, if I don't use your So Loki audio bomb at least once, I will know I have failed as a podcaster.
Yeah, I'm always with you.
So we got that. Next week I've got off. Then after that I am back. First we're going to be doing Damn You Hollywood, talking Wish. Please, I'm not a Disney sycophant, but I would like to have at least one hit movie this year. It's getting depressing. And I do love classic animated Disney, and I'm glad we are getting classic animated with a Disney villain with a Disney villain song. We are so overdue for that. I love a good villain song. I was like, freaking alert on my phone there. And after that, we're going to be doing another Damn You Hollywood. Mr. Jason Teasley contacted me. Jason, Robert Winfrey, and I run a small little group called the Unholy Trinity for our horror reviews, and he asked if I would be interested in hosting a discussion on Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. So we're going to be doing that. Sadly, Robert was unable to make it because the only day that was available is Wednesday, because Mark has literally filled up the month of December and what's left of November. There are no free days left whatsoever. We are all working to our graves. So we're bringing in one of our other contributing horror fans, Mr. Dorian Price, who we had on for Five Nights at Freddy's, the new Exorcist movie, and Last Voyage of the Demeter. He always brings in a lot of really great opinions, a lot of insight. So looking forward to having him on the air. And then I will be joining Mark for a afternoon recording of TV Party tonight for Upload Season 3. We've always talked about this show. It's one of, I joke with Mark because I give him hell that it's like, this is my show now. TV Party Tonight, it's my show because he gave it to me. And he's like, I still come on. I'm like, yeah, you come on for a couple of elite shows because no one else wants to talk about it but us. Only Murders in the Building, Upload. It's like, that's Resident Alien. That's us. No one else will talk about those. So that's me for the foreseeable future. And now on to the what actually pays my bills here. I'm gonna go ahead and flash it. There we go. Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. Pulling up my Etsy store here. We're also available on Handmade at Amazon. We just uploaded a ton of new products, tons of new wire wrap dice. We got our new Percy Jackson and the Olympians collection with a bracelet and matching earrings. And we have tons of new Monopoly and Clue charm bracelets. I always have fun making those. I got our new Coraline bracelet. So we are. So quick question. Is Black Friday not a thing anymore? Because every shop that I follow started their sales already.
Yeah, I saw your post about that, and I wondered, like, if that's what you were seeing. And I think, yeah, I mean, it seems like the capitalistic ventures that a lot of the corporations are trying, or just anybody is trying, continues to grow and be longer than what I used to think it was.
Well, I'm hoping that next year the Black Friday sale will be all year round and it'll neutralize inflation.
It's perfect. Perfect.
Come on, capitalism, don't fail me yet.
But yeah, I got this notice from Etsy. They're like, hey, would you like to go? It's like, have you started your sales yet? And it was like, start your sale from October 25th to November 27th. I'm just like, who the hell starts Black Friday sales in October? But apparently that's a thing now.
There is a great quote that I always bring up right around Christmas from Reindeer Games. And that's when Danny Trejo is looking at the paper and he goes, you know, it seems like with all the great money, with all the amount of money, and I'm definitely paraphrasing here, but with the amount of money that companies bring in around Christmas, one would think we would have another holiday, say a Christmas 2. We need a Christmas 2, folks.
We
Christmas
do. It's just
2.
the men have to suffer for it. It's called Valentine's Day.
No comment.
So, but yes, we are going to do our Black Friday sale. I'm actually now debating if I need to start it a week early or not to compete with this kind of stuff. But more importantly is that Black Friday will be the kickoff for our charity drive. We do this every year for every individual order that is placed on either our Etsy shop or our Handmade at Amazon shop. We will be donating $5 to St. Jude's Research Hospital. Last year, we managed to rake in over $400 through this. I want to beat that record. So if you know someone who's interested in the fun, geeky accessories and the handmade, unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry, go ahead and hit us up. Again, we're on Etsy and Handmade at Amazon, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I refuse to call it X, and we are now on TikTok. Most of it's videos of Cleo because I have yet to figure out how to actually make a million videos of me making the same piece of jewelry 500 times. That's Honeysuckle Rose Creations, the intersection of geek and chic. So for myself, for Jesse, for David, thank you for joining us. Be well, behave, be safe.